My name is Randy Naquin. My last name is Naquin. I have with me Detective Jackson with the Chino Hills Police. I'm a sergeant with the Chino Hills Police. And today we're here because on February 4th, 2018, one of our deputies conducted a traffic stop for minor violations of a gentleman named Mark Ellis, who's a 36-year-old male out of Chino. During the investigation or during the stop, we determined that he had stolen property located in his car. We continued the investigation, and we ended up determining that this was a larger operation that he was operating on, and we ended up conducting some follow-up investigation. We determined that there were 6 storage units that possibly had stolen property in the city of Montclair, and we executed several search warrants to obtain access to those storage units. When we actually executed the search warrant, we discovered that every different storage unit had stolen property located in them. Detective Jackson and the rest of our crew of detectives worked tirelessly to try to find out exactly where the stolen property came from, and we were able to determine that there was over $200,000 worth of stolen property located in these storage units. When we continued our investigation to find the victims of these crimes, we figured out that there was at least $63,000 worth of property taken from different gyms here in the city of Chino Hills. Again, through searching through all this the stolen property, we ended up finding a plethora of ID cards, credit cards, driver's licenses, purses, wallets, receipts, and through those receipts and different other things we located, we were able to find out that and confirm that this guy had been stealing from vehicles, residents, and commercial burglaries. He had been committing commercial burglaries. He'd been stealing since at least 2006. And as you can tell, a lot of this property that we have was just stored. We cannot determine that he had sold any of the property or he was selling the property for any type of profit. It didn't look like he was selling it to support any type of substance abuse habit. The guy was basically stealing for either for the love of the theft or the thrill of the theft. We cannot determine that. But some of the places that we were able to return property was the Millennia MMA Gym, Next Level Gym, the Pilates Circle, YIC Taekwondo School, the Montessori School, Self-Made Gym, Don Lugo High School, Chino High School, Ayala High School, and the city of Chino Hills. One of the things we found out as well, we were able to confirm that he committed over 50 vehicle burglaries, and we have already found 40 victims to return property to. There were several firearms that were located during the search, which we were able to determine exactly where these firearms belong and trying to get them back to their rightful owners. Some of the places that he was burglarizing was here in the city of Chino Hills, in the city of Chino, Anaheim, Newport Beach, Tracy, Walnut, Los Angeles, Fontana, Ontario, and he went as far as Las Vegas, Nevada. We're happy to say that the guy is currently in custody without bail, and again, his name is Mark Ellis. He's a 36-year-old, or Mark Ellis, sorry, 36-year-old resident out of Chino.
Randy, if he wasn't selling this stuff, because it doesn't look like he was selling a lot of this stuff, if any of it, how was he paying for those storage units? Because that's what, $100 each a month or so? I mean, it's not cheap to have those giant storage units.
Yeah, we did determine that he was employed, and he was cleaning basically parking lots around the city, and I think that's how he was able to gain access to a lot of these businesses. He gained the trust of the people that worked around the area, so nobody thought anything was out of the ordinary if he was in the parking lot.
And do you think we can ask Jeremy a couple questions?
Would you like
Sure.
to ask some questions?
If you could step right over there, Jeremy. If you can. Once you realized the magnitude of this case, I mean, how long have you been a detective?
I've been a detective for 5 years now.
Can you kind of rank it amongst the craziest cases you've ever dealt with?
Oh, this will be it here. Yeah, this is the craziest case. Given that he's held on to this property for so long, that's, you know, again, we're finding victims back from 2005. I believe even earlier. It's one box after another that we're going into and finding new victims.
It's almost overwhelming, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but a lot of support, a lot of help, good team that I work with, and we're pushing through it.
Did he give any explanation why he held on to it at all?
He did not talk to us.
Can you kind of describe what you guys are going through, the process of dealing with this? Because I don't think you guys have ever really dealt with, you know, something of this size. How are you, you know, getting this stuff back to people? Kind of describe the process if you don't mind.
You know, once we find someone, we check various database systems, and then we place calls to individuals, and it's actually, it's rewarding to talk to them, you know, because usually you get a call from the law enforcement, it's not very good. And then you explain to them, hey, I think I have something that belongs to you, and it just changes everything, and they're very, very grateful.
Any idea why he didn't try to turn a profit from this stuff, and why he kept holding on to it? I almost feel like he's got maybe a mental illness, a hoarding situation. Have you kind of tried to wrap your brain around it as well?
Yeah, but you know, that's a diagnosis I can't make. But yeah, I mean, what I've seen on television, it's those kind of situations where there could be. I couldn't tell you that.
When you talk to the victims who say, "Oh my gosh, you got my such and such," how does that make you guys feel, knowing that you're able, even if it's years later, to deliver something that was taken away from someone
Like
else?
I said, that's been the big thing here. That's what's made us, you know, this all worth it. So I'll continue to open up every box, check every piece of mail to possibly identify someone to return that.
You know, Randy mentioned earlier that this guy almost put people out of business because he stole, I guess, Pilates tables from a business. Can you kind of give us a scenario of how detrimental his thievery was to particular businesses?
Yeah, like Randy said earlier. So I was there the night the victims came to pick up their property, and the wife, she had just had a baby not too long ago, and she was like, we were very close to closing our doors, and you don't know how grateful we are. You know, very thankful.
Did he have a prior record?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Prior record?
Yes.
Same sort of thing?
Well, we really don't comment on exactly what the charges were from previous arrests. However, you know, he obviously was on probation when he was arrested, and he's currently without bail.
If you can talk about the amount, how many items, have you counted exactly how many individual items were stolen by this guy over the period of the last, 10, 12 years?
I can
I
answer.
lost track.
Yeah, I think just looking at the items that we have here, I mean, obviously everything that's here is going to be categorized and placed in reports and whatnot. But our main goal is, you know, looking at it and trying to find the rightful owner. That's the reason why you guys are here today. Hopefully somebody will see their property and be able to contact the Chino Hills police, and we're able to get their property back to them. As Jeremy said, the Pilates studio that we're able to return the property back, you know, a lot of this stuff may not mean a lot to us, may not have a whole lot of monetary value, but for sentimental value for someone who's maybe collected. I mean, there's a collection of pins over here that obviously somebody has taken years and years to collect. That means a lot to them. There's a lot of memories there. And the same with, you know, cell phones with photographs in it or whatnot. You know, we just want to make sure that these people get their property back.
Someone from Facebook is asking us if the guy had sold any of this stuff that he stole, or did he just keep all of it?
From what we can tell, nothing was sold. We can't prove that anything was sold for any type of monetary value. And with the amount of property that we have in the 6 storage units, obviously he was a collector. And you know, one other thing just to add, I believe Detective Jackson was able to figure out that he was actually using U-Haul trucks in order to go out and burglarize some of these businesses, which obviously it's premeditated. He knows he's going to do it. He knows he's going to need a certain type of truck or vehicle or what have you to go out there and steal, you know, whatever size equipment he's stealing. And I mean, he definitely was calculated.
officially work for as a janitor? For the city?
That we're not going to comment on exactly who he worked for.
But he worked as a janitor and he would clean parking lots all around the city.
Yes. Any other questions? Feel free. I know we've got some other photographs that we can show you of what the storage units look like when we first open them up. Some of them are very neat and calculated, and some of them look like, you know, one of the TV hoarder houses where you open it up and you can barely walk through it. So, any other questions?
Just one last thing. Cleaning the parking lots, is it like, does he drive around with those little trucks in the off hours? The vacuum trucks to clean them up, or was it another capacity that he was cleaning?
That I'm not sure of.
That, I don't know, I just know some of the victims recognize, and they're like, yeah, he cleans the area.
Okay.
If there are no other questions, thank you guys very much for coming out today.